Yo, yo, what's good? In a minute since we jumped on here. Shout out to my full and constituents, members of 730rest.com, and everybody showing love. See if we can get homie Trey Excellence up in here. Yo,
Mm,
what's good, son?
what's good? Hold on, let me it's this thing with Instagram. I gotta reset my Bluetooth.
What's
What's
good,
up with you, man?
son? Ain't nothing, chilling, bro.
Man, I'm chilling.
Been a minute
I'm
since we
enjoying.
got together, son. A lot of shit happening. So what's popping with you? Catch me up.
Catch you up, man. I'm just digging into the real estate, man. Keeping it and keeping aware of what's going on. What's up with you?
Been stuck in the studio, son. Actually, I've been trying to learn a little bit of mixing and mastering, and I was working on a new track,
Mhm.
and even another story. My kids, my little kids, actually produced the track, which is fire, son.
What?
Yo, let me tell you, I had
What?
my little son and my daughter in the studio with me, and they sat there for like a few
Mm-hmm.
hours, like with samples and like with Reason open. And they had
Mm-hmm.
like some tools that helped them like automate stuff. Basically, that's they sat there, picked the samples, picked what sounds they wanted and all that, did the arrangements and everything. And I was helping them, guiding them along, saying maybe it should sound like this, maybe it should sound it's these yo, these kids is wild, son. Little, my kids is little, son. We talking about like 7 and 9, and this track is fire. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
of course, as soon as that came together, I'm like, yeah, I gotta spit something on it. So I jumped in the booth, I spit something on it, and then I was trying to see, oh, let me see if I could get the whole final product done. So I tried to do like some mixing and mastering. I got some like plugins and some tools for that. I grabbed like RX11 and Nectar, and I already
Mm-hmm.
had access to like Ozone, and I tried to see what I could do. Yo, I've been stuck on that thing for like a week, and I just realized mixing and mastering is not for me. I hit up X Vice, I'm like, yo, I give up. He was helping me though. He was like, yo, you close, maybe try this, maybe try that. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to like see if I could get it. Like he was coaching me, giving me guidance and stuff. And for like a week, I was like, nah, son, I just here, you take it. I sent him the track, bro. He sent me a mixed file 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
later. I was so mad. I text him back like, yo, I hate you, son. I've been on this for like a week and you send this back to me 10 minutes later. So,
They got software.
but
They got software. I mean, like mixing. The most part is just like knowing like a great reference point and like balancing the levels of all the instruments so they have a place. You know what I mean? You gotta almost picture it like live, but like you can also have like your fantasy mind because like a drum set could be like fucking 10 feet long, but like it's just gotta have the sound with everything has this boom. So that does take some time. It could be tedious for
yeah,
sure.
where I was getting stuck was like, there's certain like frequencies that kind of like clash with each other and you have to kind of EQ them out. And so like I had like a
Yep.
sample in there
Yep.
that had like this sizzle effect. And that sizzle effect, the frequency was like mixing with my voice and causing my voice to almost have like a auto tune kind of buzz to it. And so I had to figure out like where
Mm-hmm.
in the frequency that buzz was and like chop it out. It was just
Mm-hmm.
it was becoming too much. Like and it was fun and it was a learning experience. Like don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, I think I got the track maybe 90% done before I got it over to X Vices. So he really didn't have to do much. And I think he was proud
Yeah,
of that. Like I think a part of him was like, damn son, you did good. You know what I mean? So but what he sent me back was
right.
like a totally different thing though. Because the samples sounded crazier. I'm like, how you get the samples to sound
Yeah,
like that? Like I don't know what he do, but it was just crazy.
yeah. There's a couple tools you add to things. That's where like equalizers, compressors, and like different type of plugins come into play, and they create like different sounds or enhance the sound effect. How like mm, pre-delay, like the sound, like if you can make that sound like it's in the room and it echoes, you know, you're able to like layer on like real loud sounds and make that shit rock.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, they call it hip hop.
Yeah, but we did some like golden era type hip hop. So that'll be dropping soon. I'll definitely get you a sneak peek of that. Yeah,
Word,
yeah.
golden
Yeah,
era.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
we
this
need all
pause.
that. Trump said it's the golden
Uh
age.
nah, I was digging into my boom bap bag, you know what I'm saying? And trying to get some balls out. So
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I'm gonna do a
oh
reach
yeah,
back
man.
too,
Those are fun.
and I reached out to some MCs that I know to see if they maybe want to jump on a remix or whatever. Hint, hint. You know what I'm saying? But I reached out to some
Hmm.
MCs or whatever, so we'll see what happens. Maybe we drop a remix of that too. I want to get some bars out. Like it's fun doing all the other types of music, melodies, and all of that or whatever storytelling, but I just wanted to get like some raw bars out. You know what I'm saying? So. That'll be dropping soon. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, that's good news. That's like
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been stuck in the studio, just learning and cooking, and watching the future. Because my kids surprised me with that one. The track is sick, son. It's sick. It's sick, son. Wait till you hear it. I definitely got to get
I'm
you a
glad.
snippet.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking for that, man. Yeah, for sure. You gotta be hyped, man. Like for real, man. You gotta keep creating music with all this
Yeah.
stuff going on. I mean, or you get lost in the sauce. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm glad to hear because that's all I want to hear is like, all right, man. Because like, man,
It's bugged out.
when it comes to
It's
rollouts, man,
bugged
I
out
got
to
some
be
big
spitting on my
ideas.
kids' track. Like that right there is
Yeah,
just bugged out to me.
I'm already. That's a that's a different type of energy because you got them plugged in. You know what I mean? It's not like a separate thing. So like, yeah, it's fire,
Yeah, I'm
man.
setting up they publishing and all that. I'm gonna set up their publishing. I'm gonna set them up right so they get credited on the tracks and
Oh man,
everything. Like it's not that they just made it for fun,
it's a couple.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And I got a couple things, man. I want to talk to you about, man. Like, there's an IRA that you're gonna have where like it benefits your children's like
Oh,
higher
word?
education. But that's like, yeah, man. That's a big picture. So, but like, yeah, man. And then of course you could use the IRA also to buy like real estate, cryptocurrency. Uh, I mean, a multitude of things. I can keep
Mm,
going. And basically, the beautiful thing about if you have a self-directed IRA, what happens is it's all tax free. So everything you earn in that
mm,
thing is tax
mm.
free.
Yeah, you gonna have to slide
And
me some info on
then like
that.
with the education,
But
yeah, man. You brought that. You said something that made me think about
yeah,
that. For the money movers, the people want to learn how to move, make their money, make the
yeah,
money.
yeah. Yeah, you gotta set your kids up right, doing stuff like that. Making sure that you put in things that are for them in the future. Like, you talk about, real estate and establishing businesses. When you establish like a LLC, you want to make sure you put your kids in that with you. Even if they underage, it's all right. Make them partners, give them like 5, 10% of the business. Um, Build them up from young. So it's any avenues that you have that you can
Hmm.
build your children up. But but definitely in the music space is just dope. And even my oldest, this morning, I caught him in his room. He had his keyboard out, and he was on his keyboard cooking, son. And I got a clip of that. I'm gonna send to you, son. He got like a
This is
my brother gave him
up.
like a Williams keyboard. It's like one of them big, long
Mm-hmm.
joints, and it's got mad sounds in it. And he was in there cooking. Dun, 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 dun,
Right.
dun, 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 dun. I was like, okay, okay, okay. I was like, you inspired right now, son. I caught him. I put out my phone. I started recording him. He was on there cooking. He had my
Mm-hmm.
daughter with him cooking on there. I was like, damn, they getting hype, son. They not playing.
Already.
So,
Already.
hey,
Already. The
word,
DNA,
word.
bro.
So, yeah, but that's what I've been up to. I know you've been doing your classes and all of that, and I'm glad to hear that's going
Mm-hmm.
well. So, I've been trying to stay hooked into what's going on in the media and stuff like that. Um, the one of the biggest things for me is the albums Nas is dropping. He has that. So last time we talked, he had that foundation, right? It was the Paid in Full Foundation
Mm-hmm.
where he's gonna be looking out for the hip hop pioneers. But then he's got what I forget the name of the label. What is it, Mass Appeal or something like that? Mass Appeal,
Massive hill.
right? And he's dropping a Big L album, which is crazy. I don't even know how I feel about that because I love Big L. And we talked about this in one of our other sessions about, dropping the album after someone's gone. So I hope they do it right. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
really do hope they do it right. It'll be weird if Jay's on it, but that's a whole nother story. Um, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to put him on it because of that legendary freestyle that they have. So I feel like they're gonna have him on it,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of weird. I don't know, because I feel like they was competing and had beef at the same time. And then
Mm.
what? There's a Ghostface album coming out under that, which we was talking about that
Yes.
freestyle he dropped, which was crazy. Um, and then
Mm-hmm.
who else is dropping on that? I think Nas has got another album coming out with was it Premiere? And and oh,
Yes, finally.
Raekwon's coming out with an album, right on there. And I feel like there was somebody else, and I can't
Yeah.
think of who it is. Um, but that's big, like to for all those legends to be
Mm-hmm.
dropping and for Nas to be backing it. It's just like we was talking about that before on the live, like how we need to support each other and do more hip hop. And here come Nas, like if he was listening to us and was like, I was already on that, so let me show y'all something. You know what I'm saying? So I
No, for
got
real
mad
though.
respect for him for
Like,
that, son. That's real crazy, son. Like to see that. So I want to hear all of that, by the way. Like I want to hear all of it. I'm waiting for all of it. So there's not one
yeah,
of them that I'm skipping.
yeah.
Um,
Nah,
there's not one of
I
those I'm skipping.
want all of us to be, and I want all of them to be
Mm,
fire. Like, I want all
yeah.
of them to be fire.
Especially the
Like,
Big
yeah.
L is the one that I'm like worried about, but excited about it at the same time, but worried about. I don't know. And it's funny too, like I was watching It Is What It Is, and they had they were doing flashbacks of an episode where Mace was talking about how Big L tried to get him jumped by Fat Joe and tried to get him robbed for his chain or no, but not his chain, his Rolex
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. And they were just talking
Mm-hmm.
about it, and then
Mm-hmm.
it come out soon about well, we dropping the Big L album or whatever. It's crazy, but you know, they know how to play that algorithm game for real, son.
Um,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, there's a lot of cats like 50. There's a lot of brothers that play
Mm.
that fun game. I don't know. I'm just trying to get the money and have fun with the
Mm.
family. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
I
mean?
wonder how they
Mhm.
doing that album, like if he had unreleased music or if it's gonna be like reworked and remixed stuff.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like where they gonna pull these verses that we haven't
Mm-hmm.
heard yet? You know what I mean? But there's probably is some. And then like make them. You know what I mean? But like,
Maybe
we'll see.
because his
I
stuff
just
came
hope.
out so long ago, it'll seem new to everybody else if they put new beats on it, you know?
Perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps. I mean, I would imagine they already see like a gold mine in it, so that's why
It's
they gonna do it.
almost
Like they wouldn't just do
it's
it just off
almost
top.
like you know how they make new movies and they do like a remake of it, right? So like a good example, like they did a remake of like Total Recall, like or they did a remake of RoboCop, they did a remake like all these movies that they bringing out now that was actually made a long time ago or whatever. So it's like they trying to
Hmm.
remake his album or whatever he put out, and people who never seen the old ones, they gonna see that as something new. You feel me?
That'd be cool. Yeah, we'll see. As long as it's dope, I
I
don't care.
I hope it's dope. I hope it's dope. I say that because I was seeing this prank that they was doing, or not really a prank, but like a reel on Instagram, and this kid was going around this high school, and he was asking kids what year they was born, and then he was like, "What did Wu-Tang tell you to protect?" And they were like, "I don't know, your face. I don't know, your arm. I don't know."
Oh, I think I've seen
I don't know
that.
your back.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew the answer. Like so that's wild because you come up to me and say, "What did Wu-Tang say to protect is protect your neck." You know what I'm saying? But to those kids, they had never heard that. So could you imagine if they took that song, "Protect Your Neck," put like a modern hip hop beat on it, redid it, revamped it, and put it out? You would have all these kids running around talking about "Protect Your Neck," thinking it's something new.
Yep. I feel where you're coming
Yeah,
from. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
That's it. That's actually hip
pretty
hop anyway.
much, pretty much. You flipping samples and flipping songs or whatever.
All the great, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
son.
great songs.
And then
So man, I ain't been.
and
What's
speaking
up?
of flipping beats, you sent me that Will Smith freestyle. So you sent me the original one, right? And the original one was trash. Like I didn't like it. Hated it. I was like, son, is
Right.
whack. And then you sent me
Yeah.
the same
Okay.
freestyle, but somebody put a different beat to it, and it was fire. I'm not even gonna lie. It was fire.
Yeah.
And that goes to
Hmm.
show that beat selection is mad important, son. Yo,
Always, always. I remember that whole time period. Nas got
yeah,
criticized for that.
but here's the problem that I've always had with that, and me and X Vice will go back and forth on this because he's got an ear for music and I got an ear for lyrics, right? I always go back to that Jadakiss line where Jadakiss say, y'all use beats for help, we help the beats. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, it
Hmm.
is always like if your lyrics is ill enough, it could be a bullshit beat. Who cares? It could be ABCs, and it's still gonna sound dope as long as your lyrics is dope. You know. But to your point, I've always heard that argument that Nas has poor beat selection, and I don't know, son, that it could be true because sometimes the right knocking beat is what draws you in. And then the drop of the lyrics has to tie it all together. So not all,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So, so, so definitely not to turn this into like like we were just praising Nas and now like that's not at all what's happening.
No,
We
no,
probably cut
no,
all
no.
of this out.
No disrespect
but,
to Nas. It was just the
but like,
example of a
but
conversation
like,
that
but
comes up.
yeah, yeah, because it was like a conversation for like after it was written and like into
This is like
Nostradamus and
let's be
you know and
clear.
like in that
Let's
whole time
clarify.
period.
Let's
That's why
clarify.
That's why Jay
This
Z
is
said that shit on
20 years
Takeover.
ago. Like this is not all the stuff that he's dropped recently.
Yeah.
Since all his new stuff that he's been dropping, like King's Disease and all of those series that he dropped, that's that his beat
I'm not
selection
gonna
is ridiculous. This was an argument from like we talking like 20 years ago. We talking about it was written, we talking like you said, it was written and what was the other one? Um uh Nostradamus.
Nostradamus.
Um
This was among the rap community, so this is not even us like attacking them. This is just a conversation
yeah.
that was among it. He's aware of it, and then that's why Jay-Z said what he said on Takeover and all that. He
Right,
knew what he was doing.
right. This was a long time ago. So we're not talking about now. But they say on the flip side of it, they say that Rick Ross's beat selection is so good that that's where most of his success comes. That
Oh, oh yeah. Okay, I get
that
where you're going with this. Yeah.
his beat
So,
selection is just phenomenal.
well, I mean, to me, that nothing beats like complete harmony. You know what I mean? So, like, music is already like uh drums, some type of string or rhythm instrument or a horn or a blow, and then like then you got like a singer or a talker or
Mhm.
all of the above. So like it when everything's all married together, you already said it. Like when a certain track come on, and the MC, we're not even gonna say singing right now. Like an MC and that beat match, and then the timing match, and then there's like a beat switch and all of like yeah, that's when like or when the MCs are able to bounce in between each other and all of that other stuff is going on.
You
Yeah,
talking that Jada Kiss and
it's
Styles
on.
dope money right there. I always bring that up. That's my favorite back
You
and
already
forth.
know.
I know you be sending me the One More Step, which is fire. That's one of my favorite songs too. Um, but for me,
Hmm.
that back and forth and Dope Money was the inception of it, you know? And they did it before that. I think they did it
Hmm.
before that on their first album too, if I'm not mistaken. But that Dope Money back and forth.
Yeah, it's moments of it, but like you said, like during the time period, like you kept seeing this, and like you said, this is something they've been
Hmm.
doing for years. So like that's
Yep,
why they do it like that.
yep. But that definitely
Shout
adds
shout
something
shout
to
out to
it.
Sheik Luch
And
too,
that's how
though.
like 50 Cent was able to do it.
Shout out to Sheik
What's up? I'm
Luch.
sorry. What you say?
No, shout out. I just said shout out to
Yeah,
Sheik
yeah,
Luch.
yeah. Yep. And Sheik, Sheik has been doing melodies lately on his music. Um, if you listen to a lot of his new mixtapes and stuff that he drops, he's got a lot of melodies that he ties in. You know, of course, 50 used to do a lot of melodies or whatever in time into their music or whatever. So
Mhm.
when you able to catch like that wave and ride the music like that, it counts, bro. It counts. But beat selection is important. Um, and I think back to how we got into this with that Will Smith freestyle. It was crazy because I was able to actually like head nod to what he was doing, and it made me listen more to what he was saying. Um, because it was
Mhm.
shaped for how that rhyme was probably written. You know, where that original beat that they gave him just that wasn't a good fit. So it made me rethink like certain songs. I wonder like if I heard this on a different beat, would I like it? You know, I wonder.
Yeah, yeah, you've heard that type of shit. You've heard that though. People be making their remixes and shit. You be like, damn, this shit kind of
Mm-hmm.
fire now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
That's the magic. That's where
of
the
course
magic
that's
is at.
the magic of the remix. But I just wonder like for songs that don't get the remix, for songs that I'm just like, that ain't it. You gotta wonder like with the right beat selection, could that have been the one? You know, even for myself, I wonder like with my old songs, I think about like beat selection now, and I'm like, how important really is it? Because I'm a lyricist to the heart. Like I was I seen this video the other day of some rapper, and I'm not familiar with him, so if I say his name wrong or whatever, my bad, whatever. But I think his name was like Big the Plug or something like that, and he had another
Big,
artist.
big
So
X.
met him, and he had like another artist with him that was freestyling or something like that. and it was a cappella, and he was rolling up a L or some shit, and you see him like knocking his head like this, and then he got this big smile on his face, and somebody wrote in the
Mm.
captions like, you know, you support your boy when they rhyming and you smile like that. And I sent that video to X Vice and I'm like, you see, he's got the same kind of brain as me. He could head nod to the lyrics alone. Like I listen to the lyrics 9 times out of 10, I'm not even hearing the beat. I'm hearing what they saying. And my head knocks harder if their lyrics is harder or if how they saying it and delivering it is rocking. And then later on I might be like, oh, that beat was fire, but I'm not really hearing the beat, I'm hearing the words, you know? Where a lot of people just zone
Mm-hmm.
into the music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough
Mm-hmm.
for me
It's,
sometimes to worry about beat selection so much because I'm such a lyricist, you know?
nah, man, but that beat is already gonna
I
grab them.
know.
It's like you know what I mean. You know what I mean? James Brown was a bad mofo, but like he was a bad mofo too because of his band. His band was ridiculous. The horns, the
To, to
drums,
to this
the
day, to this day,
fiddles.
James Brown is being sampled, and he's probably on every hip hop album ever. He's, James Brown is probably on
Yo,
every single hip hop album ever. I would put money on it, and like, there's got to be some sort of little bit of James Brown in every single song that has ever dropped in the hip hop community. Period. I mean,
I wish I could remember the names, but shout out to the drummer. What's it? Damn, I can't. I don't know. I can't remember none of it right now. But like the horn section, they're ridiculous. They've been sampled like around the clock at 100
when I
miles per
clip
hour.
it up, I'm gonna throw pictures up, over here or whatever. We'll put their names up or whatever, because for sure,
Like a lot of favorite songs. And if there was no James Brown, it would have been no Michael
none of
Jackson.
that, none of that, none of that, bro. Like, and no Michael Jackson, and just none of that. I don't even know how to describe the passion and the feeling that was put into the music. It was different. It was like that was like talking from your soul, and it didn't matter. Like it is hip hop. Like what he was doing is hip hop in the essence of he was giving you him raw, live, and direct. Like that's it.
Yep.
That's it. Him raw, live, and direct. That's what you was getting, and that made it that much better. You know. And that's what the inception of hip hop was about. It was supposed to be you, the raw, livest version of you at all times, you know? So,
Yeah, and you had the ability to rise no matter the situation, you
right. And
perceive
it
you were
was a
in.
sharing of experiences so that you could learn from one another, you know? That's where the storytelling came from.
Right.
That's where, the sharing of math and knowledge came from through the lyrics, you know? You know what
No
I'm saying?
bullshit. Yeah, like let me see your best you. That was
Yeah,
actually like that's really what it was. Like let
yeah,
me see your best
pretty
you.
much. Pretty
That's
much.
crazy.
You had to show that, but in essence, you were also sharing those experiences. Because if you think about like I don't know, ancient times or something. I'm gonna get all off the rails or whatever. But like people told stories around campfires. Oh, I went over there and a bear tried to, bite me, and I ate the berries over there, and some passed out and died. You know what I'm saying? And you telling stories so that now when everybody's out there in the wild or whatever, they know, all right, if I go over there, the bears is gonna get me. If I eat those berries, I'm fucked up in the game. So that you sharing your story. So hip hop became that for us in the streets, right? Because now you got someone on the corner rapping about something that happened in this neighborhood and that neighborhood, and now you know, oh, okay, if I go to these projects over here, that's what they about, and if I go over here, that's what they doing about.
Hmm.
Oh, if on this corner they doing this. You know what I'm saying? You had that information and you knew how to navigate because people was kicking their truth in the music. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep, and that might be so overlooked, but that's the truth. Because I always think about it. Because like regardless of like if you point blame and this and that and all that, COINTEL, all that, I'm like, yo, we was just
Right.
reporting what was going on, regardless of
It was
whatever
no
that.
different than the
You know what I mean?
news.
Like,
It's no different than the news. Yeah,
yeah, like that shook ones.
of
That shook
course.
ones is a news report.
It is telling people what's going on. You knew, okay, that's what Queensbridge, that's what's popping in Queensbridge over there. You know what I'm saying? That's what's
Mhm.
popping. When you was listening to the Lost Boys, then you know, okay, that's what's happening in Southside Jamaica, Queens over there. You know, like
Right,
it
right.
just you listening to Fat Joe and them, okay, that's what's going on in the Bronx. But even before that, we took in, and I'm talking to people from my era or whatever, but even in the beginning of hip hop, before the big names, before all of that, those was the rumblings in the streets, you know, that's how you knew what was going on. People talked, you know, streets was talking. Come on, that's what famous Jay-Z line, right? Streets was talking. That's what it was about.
Everybody know
You know what
Queens
I'm
get the money.
saying? So, so yeah, so like it's just I don't know, man. I think beat selection. I think your lyrics being on point. All of that, you have to marry all that together. I
When you do it at the mastery level, that's where it is. It's like I don't know, it's pretty much spiritual, or like it evokes like a certain emotion in a person. That's why like Thriller is like what it is. That's why like certain songs that that we just can't forget
mm,
that are like timeless. It's because like all those elements just met in the right moment. And if you got big thinkers and they all come in a room and they create music where like a like a like a like a common spirit of like magic can appear. Like that shit is
even
falling apart. Even if they think it ain't like happening
a
like
good
that.
way to describe what you're saying is like a frequency. It's like you tuned into something at that moment. It's like you're a radio and you turn in a dial and you can hear a little bit of the song or whatever, but that moment and people ain't gonna get this reference. Fuck all of y'all. Y'all wanna call me old, but you turn the fucking dial and finally the song come in crystal clear. You're like, hell yeah, son. You know what I'm saying? And you may not always be able to dial into that like that, but when you tapped in with the people and you creating and you get that moment to your point, that's when thrillers happen. That's when other things like that happen when you get on that certain frequency and you able to tap in. I do my best writing on that
That,
frequency.
that, that's why that's why I do encourage like even if you're making your individual songs, you have someone to
Hmm.
collaborate with because it makes each other sharpen their swords, especially if you're both applying yourself. You're both going to be nice, so it's going to sharpen each other's swords. That's a given, and you're able to like just tap into like a different type of creative juice that'll fuel each other. So like that's why like we definitely need like a couple more groups and I mean, of course in R&B, but like even the MCs, like there's not many groups coming out, and for us, shout out to Coach Contra. We already spoke about
Yeah.
them before. We already know what it is. Shout out to them. We see y'all, and they just again, they just get started. To me, like I'm like, oh shit, these guys just get started. This is just the giddy up. Like okay,
Yeah, yeah,
and that means they got like some shit in the vault. They even got already that like we ain't even heard. This is like probably
yeah.
bananas.
That's why I reached back
But
out to them Nation boys and see if they want to jump on this remix because I need bars. I need bars.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to
yeah.
spoil who I got cooking right now.
Oh, okay.
But
As long as with it
trying
with
to
the
get some
program.
bars out of people. To your point, there needs to be more songs like that. When I reach back, this is what I said. I said I need some like gravel pit type shit like the some you remember that song by Phil Anastasia, Symphonies? It had Phil Anastasia, Sean Price, and Jizza, I think, was in it. Oh no, Inspector Deck was in it. Um, like those long symphony songs, John Blaze with like Fat Joe, Nas, Kiss, um, or Fantastic Four with the guy Cam, Lox, Pun, a few other people, whatever. Like them type of songs where you had like four or five people just going in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that song I mentioned earlier, Gladiator Pit with Nems, Webby, um, and some other dude. I forget who it is. I don't really know them like that, so pardon me for not knowing all the people in the
Hmm.
songs, but the song is fire. And it's like 6 minutes long, you know. Most songs nowadays be like 2, 3 minutes. That gravel pit or or or, or whatever it's called, it's got I think it's like 6 minutes long, son. Like it's crazy. So
You talking about the Wu Tang
no, this
joint?
is I'm saying the name. Yeah,
Oh,
it's Nems and
You
Webby,
said
son. I
Nems.
know I'm saying the name wrong. Gladiator Pit. Gladiator Pit. I keep saying gravel pit. I don't know why I'm
Okay,
saying that. But it's Gladiator
that's
Pit. Yeah,
a Wu
yeah,
Tang
that's why
joint.
I'm mixing them together. But it's called Gladiator Pit. It's Nems, Webby, and I want to say one other or two other dudes on there. It's like 6 minutes long. They just spitting, son. Like, what happened to that? No hook, no nothing. Just spitting, son. That's it. That's what I want to listen to. I might not be for everybody, but that's what I want to listen to. I don't want no hooks. I want a raw beat, and I want each person back to back spitting. Like Beast from the East. Back in the days, you had like Redman, Cannabis, A Plus, spitting on there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel you, son. We need
Mm-hmm.
groups.
Mm-hmm.
We need groups.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Groups, collaboration, and make this shit way more fun.
Wayne dropping the album. You saw that?
Nah, you see
Carter
that?
Six
That's
dropping.
crazy.
He
I
just
already
put the
know.
cover out for it. Um, I hope it's
Oh, that's what's up.
yep.
I know he got bars for
I
days.
got balls for days. Um, so I hope that one is fire because talking about beat selection, I hope I don't get beat up for this, but I don't know how I felt about Carter Five. Carter Four is by far my fave. There could be an argument for three, but four is my favorite.
Right.
Um, I wasn't a big fan of five. I think it was rushed. In my opinion, I think it was rushed and had the wrong beat selection. So I'm hoping they don't do that in
Mm.
six. I hope they give six the love that it deserves because Sun goes back and forth for me.
I would imagine with the climate of everything and you know the new people claiming crowns that he would come in like you know what I mean with the title belt.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's hard to say because they had that whole thing with him talking about they did an interview or something with him and he was saying, "Oh, I just want to make it clear I'm not a battle rapper. I like to spread love and my music is about love and blah 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 blah." So he was kind of like, I don't know if he was signaling like, "Yo, I'm not part of this" or whatever. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if he's coming into it looking at it like that or not. You know?
I would be very excited to hear him drop some fucking phenomenal shit.
Yeah,
When I think of No Ceilings and I think of like so many of his joints, like
yeah,
man.
yeah. I could,
He's a person that he did that whole 50 Cent thing too, where he would like do a song and like flip that joint.
yeah.
Like
He has so
man,
many mixtapes, it's ridiculous, bro. Like so many mixtapes, just so many songs. My dog beefing. I'm gonna say somebody outside barking. But yeah, he got so but that's another thing with him. Like he got so much music out that you don't even need nothing new. it would take you years just to listen to everything he got out, you know? Like he got so much music. I used to just pop like you could just go through mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, whether he was remixing stuff or doing new stuff. It was always something crazy, man. Always something crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, he got in his
Hmm.
bag for real.
So
We gotta get ready though, cause like in these next 5 years, man, we're gonna have a lot of new MCs coming
uh,
in, and they gonna like get in where they
I
fit
feel
in.
like a lot of the OGs are really stepping up though, because we already talked about a bunch of OGs that's dropping albums. You know, Redman dropped his album. We talked about that. Kiss is talking about dropping the album also. Wayne is dropping the album.
Fire, fire,
So,
gotta be fire.
like, I don't know. There's a lot of heavyweights. I'm dropping a song every month. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
Yeah,
stopping. Yo,
that's what I'm
I
talking
dropped
about.
I dropped the Sad Man, bro. And let me tell you, shout out to Speed on the Beat. If you get a chance, go to speedonthebeat.com. He did a write-up for that song, son. And let me tell you, there's people try to write stuff up for cloud or something like that. The way he wrote this, yo, I know he listened to every word I was saying on there and he understood the whole vibe of the song. And so shout out to him, son. That write-up was
Mhm.
but yeah, so that song is getting
That's
mad love. Really doing this thing. So if you haven't heard it
okay.
yet, everybody out there, go stream that. Go to YouTube, watch the official video, stream it up on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. But people feeling that one, son. So I'm trying to commit to just dropping, son. Just dropping at least one or two songs a
Yes,
month,
you
son,
gotta do
just
it.
consistently, because people loving it. So.
Yes,
I gotta give it
yes,
to them if they love it. You feel me?
yes, yes.
So I'm on it. On it.
All of that. Yeah, man. Flood the streets. It's the same mentality. Flood. You gotta flood the. That's why Jay-Z was like saying all that shit he was saying. Like he took the same mentality.
Yes,
Flood the
man.
streets.
You got
Flood
it.
them.
I
Flood.
think one of the biggest things is being consistent. Yeah. Even if you're not flooding them, you gotta be consistent. You can't leave a void.
That's. I mean, that's what
Mm.
we're saying. We just
Yeah,
translating.
yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta be
yeah.
consistent, yo. It's just keep dropping, keep dropping. So that's my gonna be my commitment to the people. So y'all hear that out there? I'm dropping one song a month, if not two or three. Be ready for that.
Every time, and knowing you, every time you drop a joint, you're gonna be sharpening your sword. Trim, 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 trim.
And
I
talking
mean,
about sharpening the sword, you mentioned something earlier that I wanted to circle back to, and that was
what's
collaborating
that?
and how, you get on that different frequency or whatever. Another thing I noticed too, for
Yeah.
me personally, and I don't know other artists, tap in and let me know what you think, drop a comment or something. But feel like when I'm recording in the booth or if I'm doing a performance on stage, like I'm 10 times better if I got an audience, like if I got my peoples with me in the studio, if I got like, and
Hmm.
not like a whole bunch of, I'm not talking about having a bunch of motherfuckers in the studio that just want to hang out and fuck around, but like people that you sitting there writing music with and
Right,
you
right.
actually vibing with or whatever think your vocal performance, at least for me personally, comes out better because there's this like ego bravado thing that kind of come out when you got somebody around and you in front of that mic and you want to perform in front of that mic versus I've been in my studio by myself and have to do the verse over and over and over again because it's lacking something. And then somebody show up to the studio and next thing I know, bam, the verse is done. And it's because now I got somebody watching me and I got to put on like a performance. And I wonder how many other people go through that. I haven't talked to a lot of people about this, so I just wonder, is that something that other artists go through? Like if they trying to record a song by themselves, do it come out different than if they got the creatives in the room with them? Or do they think their songs are better when they on stage versus when they in the studio because they got the crowd and they could feed off that energy? What you think about that?
Well, that's a great question. And but that it also has many faces. So like it just depends on the person and the experiences, and they can maximize any of those opportunities where like they record by themselves. I mean, I think I heard something about Missy and like was it Missy? She like to record with like the light. I don't know. I gotta remember what Timberland said. I don't know if that's correct. And then certain artists like to record only by themselves or like with the lights off or like with the ambiance and all of that, or they gotta have chicks in the room
Mm,
like all kinds of things. So it just depends. I think it depends on the artist and the way that they can
mm,
tap into their muse. But like absolutely, when you have an audience, to me that's like even a higher level of tapping in to like that creativity, because you just free flowing. You can like free flow like all around you. It's not limited to like what I
yeah,
mean, just yourself. But like some people they just find it more efficient to create like with just a small group because maybe they're more hands on. But like if you that's why I say there's so
mm,
many faces. Because it's like you can think of even MCs or even singers. They what they can do and what they can do is like super well, and what they train on and exercise on is their singing and their dancing and that part and their writing. But like all the beats and all that, like what I mean. Even if they know it, like it'd be better if they got like a team of people that's what I mean.
yeah,
So if they feel comfortable, like you said, if they feel comfortable in that setting, that's where the magic
yeah, yeah.
happens. And that can happen in the garage, that can happen in the bedroom, that can happen in the backyard. We let's record this joint, and next flip it,
I did
master it right.
songs.
Like
I've done
wow,
songs,
there's so
bro.
many
I've done
stories.
songs where I was hitting where No Sight was hitting a snare with a spoon in the kitchen, bro, and that shit sound fire, son. So trust me, I know what it is, bro, for real.
It's this dude that got like I can't remember his name, man. He got like he was recording himself on the iPhone because like this programs on that joint on iOS is like crazy, but like half the price that it
Mm,
would be on PC. If you
bro.
like, but it's just like it's like a certain lane. I mean, because everybody like the Fruity Loops, everybody
Nah,
like
I
the
was doing that for a while
what a
myself back in the
Ableton.
days. Reason had they still got it on the iPhone. It's called like Reason Record or something like that. They even had like a
Mm,
production app on there for a little while. And I was making beats on my iPhone and
hmm
recording vocals.
And Logic has a project on
Mm.
iOS as well.
That's a good way to start,
Yeah,
yo,
man.
to get especially to get your vocals together. Um, it's a good way to start because with that Reason Record, it was cool because I could anytime I thought of something, I could record it on there real fast, and I could always transfer it to my Reason DAW on my PC. So it was pretty dope. I don't really use it no more,
Right.
but it was definitely something I used to use a lot back in the days. For sure. I got to get back into something like that.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of cool tools.
Yeah.
X Vice was just telling me about vocal AI trainers that you could record something real messed up on your phone, but then transfer it to a DAW, and the AI will fix it as if you recorded it in the DAW.
Yeah. I even got an app that does that right off
Mm,
the bat. Yeah, I use that joint to catch freestyle
mm,
sometimes. Like it's like called Dolby. I can't think of what
yeah,
I had to look it up. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, yeah, but like we should never delve into technology. You can have like a really simple. I think that's really what we're saying. You can have a really simple. At least it looks like it's a simple setup, but like the way the technology is set up, even in the mid tier things, and sometimes even in the lower tier, because there's some companies do sell like a basic product, but they sell it solid because they have like a brand name that's strong. Where like if you set it up right, that's why like when you was talking about the mixing and stuff, that's crazy because like I'm saying is like when a person knows like how to move around inside the box, like as far as like all I need to do is add this type of plug in, or I know an equalizer, like you said, like this frequency is bouncing over top of that one, or I can just lower it right here, or and then there's even a technique called side
Mm,
chaining, where like when this sound goes in, this one knows the
yep,
lower, so it doesn't interrupt, but the sound still sounds
yep.
solid though. You know what I mean?
That was
So like,
messing me all up.
yeah,
I
man,
know exactly what you're talking about because that was messing me all up.
yeah,
That was where I was having had these samples on the track that I was trying to get them to play at the same time without clashing, and so I had to do something similar to what you're talking about. So
yeah. I took a long time to learn all of this stuff, and shout out to like companies like Fab Filter. They have like some pretty really cool
mm,
products. Um, and I mean, but at this point in time now that we live in, there's a lot of good equalizers that you can get to like move sounds out the way or just make space for like, and you don't even have to tweak it like crazy,
yeah, you know what
but
I
you can
discovered
always just have
recently?
somebody else that
You
knows
know
how
what
to
I
do that
discovered
shit.
recently? I'm gonna give a
Who that?
plug to real quick, and depending on where you watch this, you already missed it. But Plug-in Boutique, I just jumped on there the other day. They got
Mm.
like everything like 90%
Hmm.
off, like 70% off, 90% off, or whatever. So if
That sounds about right.
you breaking up a little bit, son. But yeah, I jumped on there the other day. They had like Nectar on there for dumb cheap. They had RX-11 on there for dumb cheap. Smart EQ4, something like that. I think it was called. I gotta go back and look at it. It was like from Sonable. Um, that they had it for like dumb cheap. I forget it was like $79 or something like that. I don't remember where usually it's like $300 or something. So
See, this where like the old school came in, man, because like there was guys that really were into like sonics and the way sound and how they can manipulate sound, and that's where they birthed the synths were just like mimicking like real live instruments and all of that, and then or they were just tapping into
yeah,
frequencies
the
and then
racks.
what
You
what
have
what
real
sound kind of
racks, not digital racks,
yeah.
real racks. Like those racks that those
Racks on
racks that you
racks.
see in the DAW, people don't understand that they actually used to be real. Like you actually had that on the wall and you had to turn the knobs and all of that,
Yeah,
you know?
and you had to be on point.
Yeah, son. Well, yes and no, because what was cool about those is because you could feel it in your hand. So like as you listening and turning the knob, it was easier. That's see, trying to do it in a DAW or whatever is cool, but I could. I'm not good at either one. Don't get me wrong. I'm a rapper. I'm a writer, whatever. But having the knobs when you had the actual rack and you could sit there and turn it slightly and listen to it and see how it's changing is a little bit different than changing the settings on a digital space. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. I try to find the best equipment that can match that as far as like the digitality. I think I've been kind of blessed with what I found
Hmm.
so far. But like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like you always hear everybody talk about the analog sound, was like, and then they even try to manipulate the even all the way to the vinyl sound. They even try to like, oh, let me add that a little bit, or the
Bro.
that like just
Don't
hearing the
even
space,
get me started on that fucking vinyl sound bullshit, bro. No, uh, no hate to people that use that shit. I was I was
Uh-huh.
looking for a specific drum sample the other day, and I needed one that landed a certain way, and I didn't want to play it myself. I didn't want to use pads or a keyboard. I wanted it to be a certain way in a certain key, and I had found the drums. They were perfect. They were everything I needed it to be. The timing, the layout, the space between it, the crashes in between, everything was exactly what I wanted it to be, except they were
Hmm.
trying to mimic the sound of vinyl, so they had the sound of the needle and the thing in the background, and that's that like weird
Hmm.
buzzing that you get from vinyl, which is a dope sound effect, don't get me wrong, and used in the right way is dope, but I needed those drums clean. That it was the whole reason why I had to get the RX-11 because I had to clean the drums. Because I did not want to rebuild the drums from scratch and try to do all of that.
So 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 does the RX-11
The
like break
way
it down into stems?
what it does is it splits apart. I forget exactly how it describes it, but it's called spectral analysis or something like that, where it does like it actually spreads it out on like in front of you, in front of like a graph, and it shows all the different sounds and it isolates them into, I guess you could call it into stems,
Hmm.
but it didn't actually bring it out into stems within the DAW. It was just within the RX-11 module itself. And forget what it,
So what I'm saying is, so what I'm saying is like, you know, they even have apps like now on like on your phone where like
the spatial resonance or
where
something
like you
like
can
that was cool.
download you could download the song, and then like you could separate the vocals, the drums,
Oh
the
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
instruments
No,
out of
no,
it. Like
yeah. That's a little
so, is
different because this
it?
is actually going. It's very similar, very similar. It's in the
I
same lane.
does it? I mean, th- does it achieve the same
No,
result though?
because what you're talking about is different. Like for example, if I would have took,
So like that's what I'm saying. You could just take the drums out
you
that way
can't
then. The
because
way I
it's
just
part of the
explained.
sound of the drum. So like I tried it. I used the app that you're talking about and a few different ones that do that. And what it does,
Oh, he added
it's
the
part.
sound even to the
It's part
drums.
it's
Oh,
part of
he
the
must have added
drums.
like
Yeah. You can't take it out.
yeah. the- He must have added the plug-in on the whole track and not
Yeah.
just like
Whoever made
an
that
individual
sample,
thing.
whoever made
Yeah.
that sample. Well,
Why would they
it
do
was
that?
the
What the
I
fuck?
didn't
I mean,
the
maybe it sounded cool
the
to them,
whole
so maybe
sample
not
pack
do
was
that.
called vinyl samples. So they were trying to make it sound like it came from a vinyl. That was the whole point of the
I
sample,
dig it.
which is cool or whatever, but it just so happened that it was the exact drum pattern I needed. And after searching forever for that pattern, I wasn't trying to, like I said, recreate it or search somewhere else for it because it was exactly what I needed. So instead I ran it through the RX and I just cut those waves out and it came out fire. And then it didn't jeopardize the drums because when I was trying to do it in that separated thing that you're talking about, the drums were coming back flat. Like it was
Yeah.
coming out like real flat. But when I did it through the RX, it was like it was still a full set of drums. The kick was still hitting and knocking, but that buzz of the vinyl was gone.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
son.
dope. Okay. I'm learning something. I need to, matter of fact,
I gotta,
after
it's
I'm
the
gonna look that joint up.
it's
Maybe
the
I'm already
first time
familiar
I
with
ever
it.
did it, so I might be
'Cause
calling the name wrong. I don't know if it was called spatial something or spectral something, but it was a certain setting.
yo, send me a link when you figure it out. Send me a
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
motherfucking
I
link.
got you. It's a plugin, bro. It's called RX-11, and I got it.
Sounds familiar.
It's the same people that make Ozone, and sometimes it's pretty pricey, but I was able to find it, like I said, on that plugin boutique, but dumb cheap. Like the regular price is ridiculous. Like I wouldn't even have bought it if I didn't find it on there. Because the regular price for it is crazy. But
Word.
not crazy, but you know, when you trying to do plugins and stuff,
No, on PC, yeah, on PC,
yeah,
yeah, they gotta make their money.
they hit you. You know what I mean? When you trying to do something quick, that's not a something that you just look at quick and like, oh, I could buy that. You know what I mean? It was like if you buying the full price version, that's a decision for some people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like I just said, fat filter, and I already know on the PC
Yep.
that's a pretty coin if you want to get like the full fledged
Yep.
setup. And they
Nectar
supposed to be
too.
like top notch. They supposed to be like yeah, they supposed to be like the
Hmm.
Bentley. Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, so but I was able to clean it up using that plugin, and so it came out exactly how I wanted it. But that whole vinyl sound, it was a whole pack. Like I guess people like that sound. To your point of having that scratchiness and whatever in the background, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, the louder the
Yeah.
sound, the better. Um, yeah, I mean, this is so from all I captured that like, well, I guess I'm giving a preview, but like a lot of my music will have like as much loud sound as possible, but I guess it'll be probably a balance of
Mm,
synth world. But the live sound, if you do it right, man, I don't know, it's just like unmatchable. It's unmatchable, and I
doing
love what you're
instruments.
talking about, man. I'm glad you yeah, man. But that's why I love you going back with that boom
Mm-hmm.
bap, man. Man, that joint, that's like the
Mm-hmm.
heartbeat. You know what I mean? Of all hip hop. And that's like like we just said, that James Brown. I wish I could remember the drummer's name. And then also like the drummer that was in Parliament Funkadelic and like so many other bands. Like man, what?
Yeah, bro.
That'd be like a whole bop, a whole walk.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day. Like my uncle used to like play the bass, and he still do, but not as often, you know what I mean?
Mm,
But and he used to play records a lot. So like he would throw on like,
hmm
old Michael Jackson records or old R&B records or whatever, Whitney stuff, different stuff or whatever, Janet, all kinds of different people, whatever. And he would pull out his bass and like spice it up a little bit. Yeah,
jam
like
with it.
spice it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Like like a
yeah,
remix on
you
the
know what
spot.
I'm saying? Exact. Damn, bro. I would have never called it that. That is dope. I gotta call him and tell him. I'm gonna be like,
But
yo, my boy
but
called it a remix
and
on the spot.
and in your youth you were getting like live remix, but like you see like that, like damn, like this
Yes,
is
son.
crazy.
Damn, I never thought
That's
about it that way, but it was like a live remix on the spot because he would take the songs and he would jam right there with them.
he was not he
Come
nasty
on,
he
son. There
nasty
was
with it.
no question. Son has skittadills,
Mm,
bro.
mm,
Skittadills.
mm,
And I say had, he still
mm.
has, like, you know what I mean? But I can't get him
Right.
to put a bass in his hand. It's funny because I sent him a video of what's his name? Son from the Heatmakers. I think his name is Austinus when he's on the MPC and he's playing some dope shit on the
Hmm.
MPC and I sent him the video and I was like, I wonder what it would be like to get one of these in your hands. You know what I'm saying? And he just laughed and was like, "Man, that was a long time ago. I wouldn't know what to do with that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure if I
Yeah.
set it up correctly, you know." I'm sure if I set it up correctly
Right.
and put it in your hand, the next thing I know, we all be like this, you know? So, but
That's
he's
guaranteed.
modest, so he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I
man.
wouldn't even know what to do with that." I'm like, "You think I don't remember how I used to shred that bass, son? Don't play with me. Like, this is just button pushing. You got this." But um, but he's modest. He's very modest about his music. But that's something that always stuck with me as a kid. And now I'm never gonna forget that you said that. He was doing live remixes on the spot. Crazy, son. I love that, son. I love that you called it that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I've been lucky around to be like a song is playing and like I'm around a drummer and they start doing like you said, they spice it up. I'm like,
Hmm.
what?
Well, of course. Oh, but then
You
you
know what I
got that with
mean? Or
go-go, right? That's that's authentic.
exactly. That's our whole that's our whole city
Hey,
rhythm.
you just brought
Yeah.
me back.
Yeah, we were mixing all the hip hop joints. That's why I always go back to like the connection, with the butt and the salt and pepper joints, the kid and play joints, ooh la, ooh, all that. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. It was all because like everybody was like of course with all this money moving around, it was moving up and down the East Coast. That's a different conversation. But the music, because the artist was touring it and they were like, oh, going like, oh shit, what is this? And then but everybody was like
Yeah,
collaborating like you
yeah.
was talking about.
No, yeah, as soon as you said that, that's the first thing that jumped in my mind because go-go music to me always reminded me of like back in the days when I used to go to like church when I was a little kid, and all my cousins would be like on the bass and on the drums and on guitars or whatever, and like so it'd be like the end of church, and they be playing like the church music or whatever, and it'd be like the end or whatever with everybody trying to get out of there, and then you see my cousins start spicing it up. They start playing on the guitars all crazy and remixing the church songs and all of that, and everybody dance. I'm like, oh, we gonna be in here for two
Right,
more hours, son. Like, we not getting out of here. You know what
right.
I'm saying? But that was always like the way they used to do that, the way they would always remix the music at the end. It was the same vibe that I would get when my man's first put me on the go-go music. My man John, he put me on to it from DC as my homie. He was like, yo, we was
Hmm.
kicking it about different music. He put me on to a lot of stuff. He put me on to like 3 6 Mafia and MJG, 8 Ball, like all that kind of stuff. He was on
Uh-huh.
put me into all of that. And like I knew about them, but I wasn't into them heavy. Like he's the one who put me to their like underground heavy stuff or whatever. And then like that's when he hit me with the
Right.
go-go music. Boom. I was like, what is this? And immediately I was like, yo, this reminds me of like church, but it was so different because now you're not remixing the church music. Like you said, they remixing the hip hop songs. I was just like, I was thrown back. And I like go-go music is, and people don't know about it. They need
Yeah,
to figure it
yeah.
out. They need to learn about it for real.
I, th- I, th- I think in the next these next 4 years it will grow. Um, them boys has been doing a lot of work. There's a lot of even senior bands that's been rocking for years, and even bands had like different players go to different bands, and but like and they even like they all do like
Mhm.
reunions and I know this summertime they're gonna do something crazy. I already know it's
Yeah.
I can already feel it because the city needed it anyway. Because you got a backyard band, you got Red Essence, you got I mean it's just so you got Belladonna, you got even got girl bands that's
Mm,
like they crank and they got like it's so many band Northeast Groovers, what band that's like almost like a and it's just so many bands.
mm,
I can keep going, and but once you understand like the groove, and then you see like the congos, and you see like the drums, and then you hear the guitars, you be like, oh shit, this is like live music, but like, but you know, man, everybody just rocking to that joint. It's real powerful. Like you said, I never thought like church, but
that's what
like
it
that's basically
reminded me of when I first
because
heard
like
it.
that so like now we're just talking about the ritual of music and like how it is in our world and like its importance in our psyche and what it does for like I can tell you straight up and down through all the craziest most whatever times that I was that's why people like meet artists and they be like crying or falling
Mm,
out or they just want to
that
hug
energy is
and all that
real.
shit because like they gave him strength in a certain time. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And that's like 100%. Like
Yeah.
that's the power of music. I mean, our hearts beat already on the rhythm, so it's like a tie into all of that stuff.
People need connection, bro. Like that's the thing that people need. They say that people that are more social live longer, you know? And I mean, sometimes when you going through something and you feel like you by yourself and you can't really talk to nobody about it, or you just in your head about it, the right song might feel like you got that person sitting there going through it with you, even though they not, you know? And that gives you something that you lacking at that moment, which is somebody, you need somebody there, you know? I know what it's like because that for me was like DMX's first two albums. That's how that was for me. DMX's first two albums was like therapeutic for me. So I was like,
Mm.
know, like at the time I was like just wilding and going through a lot of stuff or whatever. And and in the city in Brooklyn or whatever, we was wilding. Everything was wild at that time. And just sometimes I would just find myself like in a corner somewhere, just buried in my headphones with X on, just you know what I'm saying? And it felt like somebody knew what was going on where I was at, you know? So I don't know. I think, and even, and that's not only even with hip hop music, because that goes with every genre. Everybody has that. Whether you don't talking about love songs, breakup songs, you talk about like alternative songs like Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, rock songs,
Mm-hmm.
regardless, people feel that connection. Even those real sad, what they call them songs, like emo songs or something like that, people listen to that and they get real in their feelings or whatever, like that's something that people need. So I agree with you on that for sure. People need that's the probably what music is all about anyway, you know?
Yeah, that's why I go with like the power of music. You know what I'm saying? And like just to me, like I can listen to a song or even like a set of songs, and it can send my whole enthusiasm, my inspiration for life, like up, like multitudes in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I even
Like just starting your day off with like some songs that like inspire you can like change your entire day. And if you even play them along your day, they'll just keep you like in a whole nother dimension.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I might get in trouble for this one. I've had the
Uh-oh.
opposite happen. I've had the wrong set of songs put me on bully mode, me ready to tear somebody head off
Hmm.
for no reason. Like I found sometimes like if I'm listening to the wrong set of songs back to back and you happen to cross me the wrong way at that moment, I might be more willing to run up on you and balk at you and possibly do something that I probably shouldn't be doing at that moment. Versus if I'm listening to something else, I might just let that pass. I might just be like, ah, whatever, son. You know what I mean? So I think it works both ways. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure the audience will
Hmm.
understand that one right there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, if they're listening to us, there's got to be a few that already know, like, yeah, like that. Those are the type of songs that like motivated us through certain situations, like
Yep.
real easily,
Yep.
though.
That shit happens, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we go back to the source or the center of what we're talking about. Like that's the power of music, man. It's crazy. Whatever people want to say and be like, oh, and this and that, your parents, but like, it's still a power that just like it's just like living
Yep.
among us. I mean, like even when you walk, you walk to a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? When you're able to be relaxed in like any type of situation, your heartbeat beats at a certain rate. Like people even listen to certain binaural beats before they go to sleep to put themselves in a certain state so they can wake up in the
Yeah.
right state. Like you know what I mean? Like that. And then I think we. I don't know if we talked about that before. The sound of the spears. I know it's like
You
it's all wrapped up in
talking
there.
about like the seismic waves and all of that? Like when you're using sound to create shapes
Yeah,
and all of that?
yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
talked about that offline. Like this, a whole like a
The
whole
sound
system.
actually changes
Like you
your
know what I
body.
mean?
Like I was seeing some
Yeah.
test that they did where they were shooting like bad words at snowflakes and like if they play like beautiful music and like said nice things, the snowflakes came down very complex and complicated, very geometrical and wild looking. But then like if they was like cursing at it and being violent and like putting negativity in the air, the snowflakes look fucked up. They looked like they had no structure to them, and they looked like skinny up in the game or whatever. So they were trying to prove that like positive vibrations impact everything around you. And if your body is what they say, like 80% water or whatever like that, or more than that, if a snowflake is made out of water, and negative vibrations could cause the snowflake to be negative, or positive vibrations could cause the snowflake to be more complex. Then think about the water inside of you as it's being hit consistently with those frequencies. You know, and that's some old ill
Yeah,
scientific shit.
they talk about that. They talk about that often.
Yo, you sound like you're in a tunnel, son. I can't hear you. There you
Can
go.
you hear me
Hmm.
now? So like they even talk about that with the plants, like how you talk to the
Mm.
plant and all of that. That whole
Right.
experiment. That that just add on to what you said already. I ain't know what that deep though. I know they went
Yeah,
that deep with the
they did
experimentation.
some other shit where they had like sand on a plate, and every time you play a certain frequency on the plate, it's like a metal plate, and they put sand on it. And every time they play a certain
So that's
frequency, yeah,
something
it'll
matters,
make a
right?
certain shape. And every time they change the frequency, let's say they did like 440 hertz or 930 hertz or something like that, every time they change the hertz, a different shape happened, or different geometric patterns, I should say, occurred. And so what they was finding is that each shape matched a actual sound frequency, you know? And I'm not sure what was the point of all of that or what they discovered, but it was just dope to see it. Like as they dialed up the thing or whatever, you saw the sand shape up into something. And it's like weird because it's just sand. You know what I'm saying? So it's ill. I watched a
No,
lot of
no,
ill
no.
shit about that.
No, no. Check it though. So like I
Hmm.
got the add on for that. So like basically, it's like when the frequency that is hitting off of you is shaping you in a certain way and vibration. Still, that's based off. You still got like a master program that you can tap into. But like it's the same thing
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just said that. Like
Because,
I
yeah,
mean, we
yeah.
both said that.
But that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, it even talks about what we were talking about earlier about being in the studio with other people or having your muse. And it's all about those different vibes and frequencies being around you and how it impacts you and make you feel. Listening to the right song could put you in a very good mood, could put you listening to a certain song could put you in an emotional state. It could put you in a violent state. It just really depends on what you're listening to and how it's vibing with you at that time. And it may not be the particular song because there may be one song that to one person gets them excited and hype and ready to go to the gym and work out, but the other person that same song get them ready to punch you in the mouth. So sometimes it's not even the
Yep.
context of the song, it's just how the person relates to it, you know? It's
Mm-hmm.
complicated, but it's
Yep.
ill, you know?
It's not that complicated. It's like catch
Yeah.
22. It's not. It could be. It's the way that. Yeah, I think we're getting it explained in a simple
Yo,
way.
and I got one more topic for you that we gotta touch before we kind of touch down on this one. I was gonna stay away from it from a second, but being that Sun, we talked about Sun a few times in these lives.
Oh.
Yo, what you been hearing about your boy Ye?
I don't know, man. I've been doing my thing, but I've been hearing some noise going on, and I thought he couldn't top already
It
what he's
couldn't
been
top
doing.
what he's
What's
already
going
been
on,
doing.
man?
Pause. Listen, I gotta say pause just to say that sentence, son.
Oh
You know,
wow. Oh no, man. We already starting
I
off
gotta
wrong.
say
Got pausing.
pause before
Oh
I even
man.
start this sentence, bro. If you have been, I know you've been doing your classes, so You might have missed out on a few
They
things.
did watch
I
the
don't know how
song.
you missed this,
Come
or I
on,
don't know how you missed this one.
he was on the blueprint. Tell me it isn't so. Nothing crazy,
I
bro.
said pause.
He was on
Let
the
me tell. I'm gonna tell you
blueprint.
this. I'm gonna
They
tell you.
did
I'm gonna
watch
start
that.
out by saying this. Saw a clip of. I saw a
What's
clip of
up?
"It Is What It Is," right, with Cam and Mace, and Cam said that he don't feel sorry for Kanye anymore because he can't feel sorry for somebody that got money and don't do nothing with it. Like there's people that got problems that they can't solve, people that can't pay their rent, people that can't feed their children, and there's nothing they could do about it. It comes a point where, yeah, you might have something wrong and might have something going on, but you also have the means to not be in that situation. And some of the stuff that he's crashing out on is a little like some people are saying that he's freeing himself, and just l- living his truth, and then some people are saying he's being a troll, and then some people are saying he's really having a nervous breakdown. But the
Mm-hmm.
short of it is he dropped a song called Cousins, and, and he posted
Okay.
on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it before he dropped the song. He posted on there that him and his cousin, first of all, his cousin murdered somebody. His cousin, him and Kim Kardashian was trying to get Trump to free him out of jail or get him a lower sentence or something like that. And he,
Oh wow.
yeah,
This is getting crazy.
his
This
his
is that's
cousin
a,
murdered some pregnant lady, and he's in jail for that. This is what they saying. I don't know. I didn't do no research on this, so if I'm wrong, anybody correct me or whatever.
wow. This is better than
Yo,
around the world terms. This is a soap opera for
and
your
he
ass.
said in the tweet that maybe it's his fault that his cousin became a murderer because he told them that they couldn't do certain activities together anymore. And then he elaborated on what
Wow.
those activities were. And it's super weird too because of the age that he talks about too, because he says from the age of 6 to 14. So, and then he says this in a tweet,
I mean, know,
and
but
then
I don't know why he would do this. I don't know what his aim is, what's his goal, but I mean, it's obvious that he has like things that he deals with, and then he has like betrayal issues. But again, his mother he lost his mother. I don't know
mhm.
how he's handled that.
Oh,
You know, what I mean, that's why
I gotta
I look
stop
at
you
him
for
like
a
like
second
like
because
like
the song is
what's up?
focused on his mother. The song and the tweet is focused on his mom's in a negative way.
Interesting. Yeah, heard that. I heard that. I saw Willie D or somebody talking about like what do y'all think about Kanye talking about his mother in a negative way? And I didn't see the whole thing, but I
Well,
was like, what?
because he's saying that he got the idea from magazines that he found in his mom's closet. So,
Man, man, listen, man. Like when we think about this simply as looking at somebody, it's like he's going through some things and we watching it
that's what I'm
publicly.
saying.
That doesn't take away him from being him being a genius, from him being able to make like
Oh,
wonderful music. Dynamic music, uh, game changing, pioneer music. But like he's dealing with some stuff, and we getting to see front row seat of it. And you know, what I mean, like I'm blown away, and I ain't even
but
heard the song and none yet.
that's
But
the
based on what you
part
said,
though. You got if
bruh,
I
come
don't know if you
on,
want to hear the
come
song. I
on,
don't know if you
man,
want to hear it, but I understand.
bruh,
I understand
come
what you're saying
on.
about. I understand what you're saying about him being a music genius and all of that and whatever, whatever. But if you hear this song, it's not even. It's well put together in the sense that sonically he know how to mix and master and all of that. But the song is not even good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a song that you're gonna like.
Probably, I'm glad it ain't good because it's talking about some shit. Like
Right.
I did not know you was gonna drop a bomb on me
But
like this.
he
Like Kanye is talking about some shit
but the
like this,
song
and
it sounds
what?
erratic and not well put together. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it makes sense because because
but
Kanye is
his mute.
erratic and not well
But to
put
your
together
point,
right now. Like what the
his music is usually not. That's the problem that I'm having with this
yeah
situation
and
because now it's impacting the
yeah
music. You see what I'm saying? So
yes.
you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because
Like what the fuck
usually
are
the
you?
music is
Like
genius.
why you even spewing that out?
So
I don't know. I mean, I wish I could sit down and talk to him, but I don't know if anybody can stop him from what he's doing. Like
listen, I,
he just, he's just doing what he's
that
doing. That's why I said that's why the last thing I said before is like I just hope he get out of whatever that situation because he if he has that much understanding of self, you know what I mean. He needs to heal. He needs to heal him. He needs to find the way to heal himself so like he doesn't have to blame nobody for nothing because he has all the power. He knows that,
yeah, but I
but
think so.
it's a trippy thing with him.
Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem
It's
with
him.
that. You don't know if he's telling the truth. And if he is telling the truth, you don't know if he's using it to troll. Because then he jumps, next thing he's talking about after that is that he's a better rapper than Kendrick and he's got beef with Kendrick and all of that. Then,
Well, yeah, he's always gonna be his
oh
best shooter
yeah. But he's got
in
to
the
get the
spirit.
attention first. Because if he just jump out and say I'm better than Kendrick, nobody's really gonna listen to him because they're kind of tired of his antics, right?
So I think some of those antics come also because he doesn't have the group around that he had before. He doesn't have the same support. He doesn't have Jay Z. He lost Jay Z. He doesn't have a good
I don't
family. That
think
shit
Jay
fell
was ever a
apart.
support
You
for
know what I
him.
mean?
I think
I mean, bro, bro. And then like this Rockefeller, like and Blueprint too. But like anyway, so like
I feel you on that, but I think they was
the
squeezing they was
whole Pusha T thing, the whole Saha thing, the whole everything, like the Big Sean thing, all that fell
yeah.
apart around him. You know, that's why I said he got some stuff. Just me looking at it as an individual, I'm not talking about a star, no, but I mean, actually, I have to add it as a star because it's a different magnitude. Because like, there's cameras all around you, and you got to learn life with cameras like in your face.
He don't
You
gotta
know what I
have
mean?
cameras around
And
his
you're on
face.
like,
That's the thing. Son got money. Like Cam said, I'm gonna go back to what Cam said. I don't got no there's a point where you stop having pity for people because they have the ability to change the situation around them. I remember having crumbs in my pocket and not being able to do shit about it and feeling like, damn, I can't do shit about it. I know son is going through a lot of shit, but he has the means to change his environment. And at some point, what do you
yeah,
do to change your situation and your environment? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
So,
feel you. Yeah, I feel you. That's why I said. That's why I don't know where he's at in his head and where if he's if he's beating the the things that are paining him
mhm,
inside, or if they have control of him,
yeah.
regardless of where his position is in this this world. Like you know, what I mean, it don't matter how much money you got, man. But if you don't feel complete in yourself in the world around you, you don't have that, then like
I don't
man,
I don't
it could be
mean
a messy
I don't mean
situation.
to make it
And
sound like
I don't want to see him crash out. I don't want to see him crash out. I'll be honest with you. I know everybody excited about all this shit. No, I ain't even seen the videos. I'm probably gonna be speaking on a whole different level. Like, yep, it's over. Or I don't know what I'm gonna say after I see all of this shit and catch up. But like, bro,
listen,
I'm still fucked up. Like, I'm still like I don't even want to believe that what you said is true. I'm just like, nah, you can do that. Like, nah, come
listen,
on, man. Like why?
I throw another
Like
pose
why?
out there. Listen, here's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that money could solve all the issues, and I don't want to leave that message out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that money could solve everything or whatever, but what I'm saying is, at some point, if you got $1 billion, you could do something about your situation. Something like he, I don't
That's what I'm
understand.
saying. Like,
Now they taking
like
his
is he
kids from him.
he fret?
Like they not letting him see his kids now.
That's what,
And he's crashing out about that. And crashing out about, oh,
mm.
celebrities are not helping me. Like, I don't know what that means. What do you mean celebrities are not helping you? Like, why celebrities gotta
But
help you see
well,
your
he's speaking.
kids? What that mean? Help me understand that.
Well, nah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a mess, bro. I'm not gonna break it down
I
no more.
just
I get it. I just like you just said. There has to be a point where he has to make a decision, and that's basically what I was saying too. Like
mm,
he has to make a decision, man, on what he gonna do because like people wish that like that whole houseway joint. It's funny, but like that's like that was like a real major point. It's like, bro, you got entrepreneurs out here scrapping and doing all this, and you over here trying to work with these people and butt kiss these motherfuckers, and this is all totally against what you sing in your songs. But I know you want to work with the best. But like you could like I mean he grasped that. So like that's what I'm saying. Like Kanye got like two or three different people inside
yeah,
him, and I think it has a lot to do with like things that he has to settle within his his life experience, his soul, his being, and that doesn't take away from his genius or any of that because like I really don't want to see it, but it seems like the way like the news and the news dropped on me, it's like does he want it? Does he now is that part of his claim? But I would only know if I spoke with him, so I ain't
I don't
gonna
know.
spit no dirt
Because you
on his name.
also,
But
besides
like,
that news, then
uh,
you have a few days later him trolling and talking about that now that people think he's part of, that community, he could use certain words without getting in trouble, right? Because he had that interview with Act where he kept using the F word or whatever, and people criticized him for that. So it's like would you really tell people this dark secret about yourself and drop a song about it just so you could say a certain word without getting canceled? Is he that bugged out?
well, already, I already know that conspiracy group gonna be like, oh yeah, that it's a humiliation.
Humiliation
What do you call
ritual.
it?
But he
Ritual.
would have been had to do that
Yeah, I already know.
unless he's using that to get back in the
Because they
game.
already said he sacrificed his mom. They said, and there's a whole video when he talk about it, like in
He
a
said
way he talk about,
it
but
because he said
he
it.
couldn't pay
Yeah.
any friends. Yeah, yeah. And, and then like that wild shit he said about Jay Z and Beyonce's kids, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
bro,
He's
like,
tripping.
like, like,
Oh,
really though,
hold up, hold
like,
up, hold up, hold
yeah,
up.
'cause I
I
don't know
forgot.
what he's embracing, because he likes to
Wait, wait,
embrace like the
wait,
wild
wait,
part
wait.
of
I gotta
Tupac
give you
too.
one more. I gotta give you one more that you missed out on because you brought up Jay-Z and
Hmm.
Beyonce.
Oh
I
my
don't know
god.
if this is
Oh
true.
lord.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, or if I'm wrong, my bad. I ain't trying to spread bullshit. But yo, I read that Jay is considering selling Kanye's catalog to Kendrick because of what he said. That they
Yo,
in the talks
that's
right
see.
now of selling Kanye's catalog to Kendrick.
I, hey,
Yo,
that would be wild. That would be wild. And I don't know why
you
and
talk
what
about
and who and
somebody's
what,
kids.
but like that'd be. But that's a lot of money though.
You
I'm
talk
gonna
about
say
my
that.
kids, I
I'm gonna
sell
say that's a
your
lot
whole
of money.
catalog to your enemy.
Cause like, cause Kanye is kind of like R. Kelly. It don't matter what, or even Michael Jackson for that matter too, right? Because they said the whole kid shit about him. Like the music is going
Mm,
to sell,
I don't put Kanye in
and
that
now
category.
now with now. Nah, man, those first albums, the graduation, and all of that, like that's like that's the only reason why I speak about
I'm
Kanye.
a huge
Like I know
Kanye
that
fan.
that's in
I
there.
don't put him in that category. He ain't Michael Jackson to me. Like, nah.
Oh no, no. What? No. I got you. I got you. I
Mm-mm.
hear you. I hear you. Because like, yeah, to me, I'm glad we feel the way about Michael because like that to me, like,
I'm sorry.
and and I love Prince. I love Prince. I love Prince. Don't get me wrong, because like I had the people that come at me like, and I'm like, bro, I love
yeah,
fucking Prince. But Michael Jackson, like this nigga was a kid. Because I always think about a person's personal experience. That's why, like, I don't know Kanye and like how he had to deal with shit and who had it, and that's why I always think about the people around him. Like, he had the right people around him, but like, and then that also, like you talked about deeply, it's like there has to be a certain point in yourself where you be like, yo, especially where
yeah,
he sit at, bruh. Like he sit right now, like he could do so much good. He don't gotta go. He don't gotta do none of that extra. He's got to
right.
connect back with us, and he could do so. Oh my God, it
Look
would
at
be like,
look at Nas' example. We just talked about Nas in the
yeah,
beginning. You got Nas doing the Paid in Full
mm-hmm.
Foundation, where he's doing everything for the pioneers. He's dropping the Mass Appeal label now, where he's dropping the album for himself, Ghostface, Mobb Deep, Big L, Rock, Raekwon. You get what I'm
Crazy.
saying? That's
You already know there's other MCs looking like, damn, I wish I could
right.
have been a part of
You
that
see
shit.
what I'm saying? Who
You know what
knows
I
what Wave 2 is gonna
mean?
be? Who knows what Wave 2 is gonna be? Wave
Exactly.
3, Wave 4. This is Mass Appeal's what do they call it when it's like your first drop, the first time your debut. This is their debut drop. You know what I mean? And it's
And you already know that means tours are
right.
coming.
So now you're gonna have Nas, Mobb Deep, Ghostface, and Raekwon on a tour, and they're gonna be playing Big L records in between. Like that's gonna be crazy.
Oh damn! Now that you put it like
So
that, oh my
you
God!
got that,
It's DJ
and
Premier.
then you got Ye crying online about something that he should be talking to a therapist about. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I love the
right,
music, son,
yeah,
but you come on, you got two people in the same field when it comes to money talking about greatness and how great they are, right? And but
yeah.
you got one that's not talking
That's what I'm
about how
saying.
great he is. He's just doing great things. And then you got one who keeps saying he great and you want to feel like he great and you love his music and you love the movement and you have a connection with them because of college dropout and all of that stuff from the beginning and you want to continue to root for this person. But it's like at the end of it all, where to reach back, yo? What you doing with all that bread you got?
right, yeah,
What
yeah,
are you doing
yeah,
to take
yeah.
care of
That's
yourself?
real. Like,
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, whenever he can figure out whatever he's dealing with, like,
I wish the
yeah,
best
I'm
for
with you on
all
that,
of them. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like I hope he get his
I,
shit
I,
together.
I just want to see the dopeness come out of him, but like it seemed like honestly, and I don't like to be that person, man, but like it seemed like he just gonna he like because like some people we understand that just from growing up in others, like some people and even states that we even felt before, like you just like I'm just gonna uh, assume crash out mode. I'm
Yeah.
going or kamikaze, especially in the environments that we grew up in. I'm gonna just go
And
kamikaze
and
on whatever
that's what
level.
Cam was trying to say. Cam was saying like in our environments we didn't have a choice. And I'm trying to feel bad for him, but he has a choice. Like he right,
He has
he
a mega
could hop on a
choice.
plane and check himself into the top notch place that can help.
That
I know he's scared of all that and the rumors, and he says they try to kill him and
he
all
can,
that.
he can gather
But
all these creative people, all these creative and inspired people that want to like be a part of what he
and
was
he had that
representing.
good
Yeah,
music movement,
yeah.
and everybody wanted to be in that studio with him, where people were willing to go to different countries and different places and be in the, and he wasn't even ready to record and would have them doing all this wild stuff just to do one song.
That's the contradictory I have to deal with him too, because I'm like, bro, you talk about all this, like you just said. Matter of fact, I'm just reflecting what you
Mm-hmm.
said. You talk about all this power, but you got it. Like that, like that's why I always talk reference that Sway. How Sway was like, bro, like, do you realize who you are? And you telling me you Walt Disney and
Right.
what else he was saying? And rightfully so. Shout out to him for being like that. But like that's what I'm saying. There's this demon. There's things that because like whenever I was always growing myself, I always know that there was just things that I had to figure when I grew and really observed myself and the thoughts that I was thinking. It was just things that like, oh, I need to get that
Yep.
figured out, or I need to forgive myself or forgive that person and look at the bigger picture and move
Gotta make
on.
moves.
And it seems that's why I said we, yeah. So like I guess that's where all the real ones see him at. But they're like, yo, bro, you are in a position way higher than a lot of us. You probably met so many motherfucking Saudi Arabian and all these other
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers with stupid bread, and you are wilding out. You trying to go against the conglomerate. You don't have to do none of that. You can just operate with the people that want to operate on the cool tip, and you can actually back to where you originally started. Bless
Right.
the hood,
And
create programs. Like you just said, he could be doing so much shit.
I, I'm not
Ah,
even. I'm not even
yeah, I
gonna
feel you on
pretend to
that.
know his situation though. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I don't know him. I don't know. I don't know his shit.
Yeah,
You know. So I'm gonna keep doing what I can do in my power. You feel me? Like we got we,
yeah. That,
yeah.
you already know that's what we stand
So
on. Yeah,
we got our services that we offer, and we try to do everything we can for people. We got, 730rs.com. We got the books out. We got our artist
yep,
services, and we got more coming. And that's what we're
yep.
gonna do is continue to help people. And I hope the best for him. But the little bit that we could do, we're gonna do. And
And I'm glad we talk about this because like there's a there's like a sensation where we watch what the celebrities are doing, but like I love to promote like what can we do, and like that's what you're speaking on. What can we do to fill the gap? Like what can we act? And we got like so many creative minds,
it's not.
man.
It's about community and trying to bring everybody together, educate everybody, and do that reach back that we seeing that he needs to do. That we see now, we trying to use Nas as the example, the shining example right now. But there's so many other people doing it too, and it needs to be recognized from the small levels to the big levels, all kinds of stuff, bro. And people need to understand that that's the way we grow. We grow together, helping and learning from one another. Like we talked about how the inception of hip hop was the sharing of information so that people were prepared and ready to navigate, you know? And that it's got to be the same now. It's not only through the music. We have to use all the channels that we have available to us to ensure that we all have each other's back. It's like it became a point of where everybody started snaking each other and maybe getting like, I don't want to say snaking each other because that's not the right word. It's more like I got the inside track to this and to that, and I'm not putting you on. And like because I'm not putting you on, it's closing doors behind me. So where that one person may succeed, they not opening the door for the person behind them. And that's where things started getting messed up. And then you could kind of snake in the game and make these kind of weasel ways of doing things because those doors weren't left open properly for the next people to walk in. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
think that's a big, big, big issue that is being
Well, it's
overcome.
a big paradigm shift. It's a big paradigm shift for people to understand that if we all profit in, is a way that we can all profit, where people don't even have
Right,
to hide their hands behind their
right.
backs and all of that. You know what I'm saying? If we all profit in, like, it's, I mean, because the majority of people, they don't even really
Yeah.
ask for much. But if they just had financial security, most of those people, those average people that you walk by, some of those people are the most delightful people. And if they just had a little financial security, they would just blossom. But like you just said, it has a chokehold.
That's a tough one. That's a tough
You know.
one. Because people have to have the desire to earn. You don't want to spoil people either. And so there has to be a good balance
Hmm.
between that, the desire between you can't just say financial security because there has to be a earning potential. There has to be a
Yeah.
competitiveness attached to it because if you just give some you notice with kids, if you just give something to your kids, they don't value it as much as if they earned it, you know? And so there has to be some kind of competitiveness to how people are earning. It's like a earning potential, not so much a financial security, if you know what I mean. To make sure everybody understands their earning potential and how they can contribute within the community and continue to grow without blocking somebody else's earning potential. And I think that's what people don't understand. They think there's not enough for everybody. Like if my earning potential is a certain amount, then that is going to supersede or stomp on yours, or vice versa. You might stomp on mine. And I think they need to realize that when we collaborate, there's enough for all of us to share together, and we don't necessarily have to be that way. And I'm gonna give myself a quick plug real quick before we drop off of here. Recently we were doing some of the artist services. We were setting up publishing for a client on 730rs.com. And I'm a member ASCAP. Okay. I'm very ASCAP heavy. ASCAP is the easiest to use as far as getting your writers set up for your publishing and for your business publishing. And they give you so many benefits and so many tools. Never been a fan of BMI because their online website was terrible. A lot of this stuff was mail-in, and then just to get the business side of publishing, you had to have like your LLC set up or some kind of C corp or S corp or something. They wouldn't just let you set up the business side of publishing, and it was all done by mail paper application. But as I was helping this client, the client had BMI, and I was trying to talk him into ASCAP. I was like, "Yo, you got to get ASCAP. It's so much easier." Blah blah blah. He was like, "I already got ASCAP on the writer side. I just need the business side set up." We processing the paperwork to do it manually through the mail, and I stumbled across through one of my research tools that BMI is now officially doing the business publishing online. You don't need to mail it in. You don't have to do all the paperwork in the application. And you don't have to own a LLC, S corp, or whatever. They're letting you use your social and do a sole proprietor. So they have finally caught up. So I went from thinking I was gonna have like a 30-minute session with this dude to we was on and off of the session in like 9 minutes. And his publishing squared away, his BMI publishing squared away. They sent him the documentation within like 30 seconds for him to do his DocuSign. And he was like, "Yo, I got a project that I'm about to do with this girl." And, it got on pause because her lawyer started asking about my publishing. You just saved me. Now my publishing is set up and everything. I could finish this deal with this girl. I was like, whoa, hold on 1 second. I got something for you. So I put him on hold for like a minute or two, came back, and I hit him with a songwriter producer contract to give to the girl. And I say, here you go. That's on me. use that contract, make sure you verify what your splits are going to be, your publishing, your work for hire fee, and all of that. Have it written out here on this contract so there's no questions that come up later. Even if you giving her 100% of everything and you just want your fee, just put 100% to artist, 0% to producer. And that way it's at least clear in the paperwork. She understands what y'all doing and what your business is. And he was like, yo, this is dope. I was wondering how we were gonna do this. The lawyer was asking me about that too. So 730rs.com, y'all. I can't push it hard enough. Artist services, like we trying to get y'all right. So I bring that up to say I'm an ASCAP member, but that was a BMI member, and I was still there to help him. I didn't like cross my arms like, oh, you're BMI, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Because we a community of artists and we gotta be helping each other. So that's why I
Right,
bring up that situation. You know what I mean?
right.
It ain't about, oh, you over here,
That
you
shit's
over there.
fire.
You use DistroKid, you use Amuse, TuneCore, whatever, just it don't matter, yo. We gotta help each other and we gotta stop this isolating each other out and letting them pick us apart and take all the money while we sitting here not collecting off our own art, you know? So that's my
Mm-hmm.
soapbox for that. What's your part in words, son? What you got for the people out there?
Um, believe in yourself and get active.
Word.
It's a perfect time to
Do
get active.
something. Uh, all the tools is out there and available to you. Come get the help you need. If you need help from us, get it from us. If you gotta get it from somewhere else, get it somewhere else. But it's tools out there. Make it happen. Put your music out. Make your money. Make a connection with somebody. Collaborate with people. Don't just isolate yourself. Make music together. You know what I'm saying? I want some 6 minute head knocking shit where people is dropping verses back to back. Let's get to work. Like Trey Excellence said earlier, we need groups, we need bars. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, it was dope catching up with you, son. I don't recommend you go listen to that song. So, shout out to you. Shout out to the Polar constituents, members of 730rs.com. It was always dope going live with the homie Trey Excellence. You feel me? And we'll be back at it, son. So, peace.
Jeez.